Chameleon lightweight end-fed sloper, good for 80 meters to 10 meters. Really nice antenna. They were kind enough to send me, so we're gonna try and set this bad boy up out of school. It's meant to be recoverable and a mobile antenna. We're gonna set it up kind of semi-permanently, but I can take it down really easy if I need to and see how she works out. So stay with me, guys. All right, so I brought the 705 up here this morning. Down here, I should say, and the Surface Go, and we're already making contacts on 40 meters. We've got this antenna set up exactly like we talked about yesterday. I've got it strung up from this corner out to the far corner over there of the fire pit. It's about 15 to 16 feet high over there, but it's only about 10 feet high over here from the ground. I'm actually standing on a platform, so it looks a little lower than it is. But it's about 10 feet high down here, which is a little lower than I want it. But I've checked the SWR on 40 and 20, and it's below 1.5 SWR on 20 and 40 right now. Also going to check in 10 meters here in just a few minutes. But I wanted to make a few contacts on 20 and 40 first. Real simple antenna system, real heavy duty wire. It's got Kevlar in it, so it's really robust. It's got a nice matchbox unit on it there. You can see from here that unin on there. And I've just got a cable running straight down to the table here at the Pathfinder Outdoor Kitchen. I use this for an office during classes. And you can see I've already completed a contact here on FT8, going to the logbook. All right, so I switched over to 20 meters here. Same antenna, same setup. We'll wait for this thing to transmit a CQ here. It's getting ready to transmit now. When it does, you can look at that SWR, well under 1.5 to 1. Excellent, excellent antenna so far. I'm anxious to try 10 meters and see what it does. Although we're set up in kind of an NVIS configuration, we still seem to be getting out pretty good on 20 meters. You can see the spots over here. We're getting well out there on 20 meters. 40 was fairly localized, but we were getting a couple states away. There we go, we already got a contact coming through on 20. And we're only running 5 watts. We're running right off the external battery on the 705. This is just a great setup for mobile comms, especially for a temporary base station like this. All right, you can see our SWR is well below 1.5. And we're communicating on 20 meters there. And we got a contact running now. So we've only been on 20 meters for a minute and a half probably. Already picked up a contact on 20, we've already got 2 on 40. Finished up the contact there. He gave us a signal report, we gave him a signal report, and boom, 73. So 20 meters is working great too off this 5 watts, running right off the battery on the back of this radio. Only running 5 watts with this antenna. And again, it's kind of an NVIS setup, but it's getting out there even on 20 meters pretty good. All right, so we're still testing this same antenna out here, and I've been kind of jumping around the bands. I actually did bring a tuner down here to get some of the bands that weren't resonant with the shorter piece of the antenna. I was on 17 meters and I was on 15 meters, messing around a little bit, didn't get any contacts on those. Decided to jump over to Vera on 20 meters here and try to connect to a node on 20. Sent an email to my pop, and it looks like it's trying to connect now. Let's see what happens here. We'll know directly if it connects. Again, this is no internet. This is strictly through HF, trying to contact a node. Okay, so I was waiting, that node was busy, and I just hit best channel, and it dropped me over to 40 meters, and it connected right away. That's another advantage of having this multi-band antenna. You can just skip around to where you need to go and make things happen. So now we're sending an email out to my pop, asking him if he's got WinLink and Vera downloaded on his machine yet, so we can talk through this apparatus as well, or this method of communication as well. He's over in Indiana, so you can see It's sending that message right now. There's the green bar going across to tell me that it's going out. It's a slow method, but it's reliable. And it doesn't require internet or cell phone. So in a base camp scenario like we're in right now, where there's no internet service down here, this is an option. Okay, there we go. Completed the sending of the message. One message sent. Took 1 minute to get that done. End of session, it's closed out. Now we can just jump back over to the radio, get back to communication. Okay, so we're back on 10 meters now, and we did not need a tuner. We've got an external ICOM tuner there. We did not need the tuner for 10, 20, or 40 with the antenna configured exactly like it is, with only the short length and not the extended wire. To get resonant with that antenna, you'd need to add on these other frequencies like 17, 15, 80. You would need to add this extra length of wire in the bag here, which I didn't have room for out here. So I just set up the up to 40 meter element and then used a tuner to bring myself into these other bands. So right now I'm back on 10. You can see I'm picking up quite a few contacts here that I'm at least hearing. I haven't attempted to communicate with anybody yet on 10. I've already had contacts on 40 and 20 today. All right, so we just picked up our first contact on 10 meters today. So we've now made contacts on 10, 20, and 40 with this antenna configuration. We're gonna try a couple other bands yet today, see if we can make contacts on them using our tuner with this shorter length of antenna. All right, we just picked up our first contact on 12 meters. Again, I did hook a tuner up to this thing for these other bands, but I've made contacts now on 12, 20, 40, and 10. So 5 bands so far we've hit with this end-fed antenna from EmComm strung up out here at the base camp. Okay, so just a quick recap here. Again, you know, we've got a new antenna out here that we're working with, and it is the lightweight end-fed sloper 80 to 10 meters from Chameleon. You've got a secondary element here that needs to go on that long wire to get out there in that 80 meter range. Now, what I did here was I just set up from the corner of the base camp here and ran that across to the fire pit. I'm going to improve on this and get an eye bolt up there with a hook so I'm not just hanging on a nail up there to make it more semi-permanent. Get a coil holder for the wire here. Then I'll be able to use this as a base camp setup. But we did talk on we did communicate on 40, 20, and 10 with no tuner whatsoever with just this antenna. Gave us 3 bands resonant. We hooked up a tuner and we were able to look at 17, 15, and 12. We made contacts on a couple of those, struck out on a couple more, but we definitely had the SWR in the right range with the tuner on there, and we were getting out there and we were hearing signals. So it's just a matter of patience with some of this stuff. But a couple of programs here. Grid Tracker is this mapping program. A lot of people ask me about that. You can download it, it's free. It's a companion program for WSJTX, which is a digital program that allows you to send signal reports and receive signal reports so that people can acknowledge your existence out there on the radio waves. And then I've got the ICOM remote utility running between the radio and this Microsoft Surface Go, so that there's no wires needed to run the radio through the computer and no internet, because the actual ICOM 705 has its own hotspot. You can see it is turned on right there. So we don't have any internet, we just have a hotspot that we're running here that connects it to the computer. And so once we disconnect here, and we disconnect our radio, it takes care of that. Close that program out. It's a very, very easy setup to be able to do this stuff, guys. And one thing I usually do before I close out, especially if I'm operating offline, is I'll make a copy of the WJTX log ADI file in the program itself, and I'll transfer that to the desktop. And then when I get internet connection again, I can upload that log right to QRZ, and all of my contacts for the day will show up in QRZ. Kind of interested to see that when I get back to internet service today. Guys, I appreciate you joining me out here today for a test of this lightweight end-fed antenna by Chameleon Antennas, strung up out here at the base camp area. I wanted something I could come down here and work with in an area where I don't have internet that would give me radio and comms, and it works out really well for that. I think that all of these skills are relevant. Everything that has to do with self-reliance is a relevant skill. Again, you're gonna see these types of videos on my channel. People are like, where's the survival stuff? I've got 1,500 videos. Lots and lots of them are survival stuff. All forms of self-reliance has always been what this channel is about. I hope you stay with me for some more content. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your support. I thank you for everything you do for our school, for our family, for our business, for all of our sponsors, instructors, affiliates, and friends. I'll be back with another video as soon as I can, guys. Thanks.